Every single COP matters.
We work to build solidarity for a green world.
We need climate action because we are in deep trouble.
A very fundamental principle of multilateralism. In order to succeed, we have to work together.
The superfluity of good advice has to reach out on the ground to concrete actions, to concrete decisions.
Today's event is timely.
Welcome to the 30s High-Level Meeting, linking the UN Summit of the Future with COP29, organized by the Nizami Ganjavi International Center.
We're gathered once again at an important event taking place in the city of New York, to which we bring our own contribution, our voice, and our ideas.
The Nizami Ganjavi International Center has been an important partner to the COP29 presidency this year. The impressive list of speakers at today's events demonstrates the center's ability to bring people together around the world.
While New York is considered a melting pot where different cultures collide and blend together, Nizami Ganjavi International Center is commonly referred to as a melting pot of diverse political wisdom.
You know, the great thing about NGIC is you combine the fresh ideas that we associate with youth with the maturity and experience that so many brilliant and dynamic former leaders bring to bear on the discussion.
This year, the NGIC high-level meeting in New York City will serve to prepare the ingredients for the outstanding political melting pot called COP29 in Baku.
Climate change, this existential problem, can only be dealt with if we can talk about the kind of resources that are necessary to make the energy transition. I am very convinced that we ought to be talking about burden sharing in this multilateral world.
WHO is supporting countries to respond to the health impacts of climate change, which is putting an increasing burden on their health systems. We must all work together to make sure that the COP29 outcome document does the same.
I regret to say that there are those who still deny climate change. There are those who continue to look for short-term profit over long-term benefit for humanity. And there are others who pursue narrow political agendas, and rather than joining in the global effort of all of humanity coming together for this essential collective effort.
Last year, 2023, was the warmest year recorded, and 2024 is set to break this record again. Disasters have led to record levels of displacement, with over 32 million people internally displaced just in 2023, and millions more made homeless each year, predominantly due to climate-related disasters.
Climate change is a microcosm, if you want, of that larger drama that is playing out, and I do not envy Minister Babayev and Azerbaijan's COP presidency in trying to bring the world to realize that despite all the difficulties and differences, there is actually a path forward. And as with every COP, I think we will see that also happening in Baku this year.
The clock is ticking, time is running out. COP29 is an important milestone in that progress on our journey of saying to future generations, we are going to save the planet and to give those future generations that hope.
I will be moderating this session.
This session is devoted.
We will discuss in this panel,
I'm going to be moderating this next discussion around climate finance.
migration.
To the issues of health.
We're going to start the session now on women's role and leadership in the multilateral system.
Women are in power. Firstly, they leave their ego aside. It's not about victory. It's not about winning. It's not about showing I am more powerful. It is more about, okay, we have a problem here, how do we solve it?
When women do participate in decision-making, it strengthens the outcomes.
How many women has been the president of the General Assembly? 4 since since the start. Sometimes it's good also to look at the mirror to see that how you behave yourself.
It's clear that we need more women in power. We should support the idea that the next Secretary General will be a woman.
We cannot have any of the other SDGs achieved if gender equality is not achieved by 2030. We all need to look at the Pact for the Future and to move from, as we say, from pact to act.
Recognize refugees.
Let people in, keep people out.
Separate migrants from the refugees.
Migration is a phenomenon.
Legal migration and illegal migration.
The war we are fighting with climate change, and in particular, sea level rise. Sea level rise will generate migration and has already begun to do so.
Refugees can and should be invested in as architects of change in their countries.
Let's face reality. There is a correlation between the presence of non-integrated migrants, legal or illegal, and criminality. And it doesn't help to deny this.
Migration is not simple. It is a complex issue.
I come to the issue of this panel, the forgotten and unforgotten conflicts.
We have to understand the forgotten crisis.
Put back these forgotten conflicts to our agenda.
Just to remind ourselves, we have 56 conflicts in the world nowadays. 92 countries are involved in those conflicts, which means half of the world is involved in the conflicts. That means we are living in an extremely dangerous period of the human history. We are really on the crossroad.
What is the future generation going to say about us who stood by and watched all this death taking place? Me, I don't care whether it's a Jew or it's a Palestinian or it's an African. It's all death and must be treated equally, and the attention must be paid. And we must do that urgently, right now.
We need to figure out why we've missed the shot in the past on so many of these global issues, because we're in the last 2 minutes.
This is not the time to sit back and let the other guy do it. We have to do it ourselves.
As I look around this table, I see not only the determination, the opportunity, and the power to change, but I see the willingness.
We at UNAIDS are ready to continue working with you, NGIC, to use your voice, we'll support you, use your credibility, your experience.
We have to save the planet, but at the same time, we all are involved in humanity. Any life of any person deserves to be respected. And I think that should be our main concern in today's world.
We can be proud that this is the biggest event for former President, Prime Ministers and Ministers, plus head of UN agencies, next to the UN General Assembly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a treasured tradition of bestowing the Nizami Ganjavi International Prize on distinguished personalities who have made a mark in this world and who have made a significant contribution to making this world better.
May I say a huge thank you to the NGIC for being an environment, as one or two people said earlier today, in which it is possible for people to have proper and serious discussions, albeit from different points of view, but to discuss issues. And I think that is so important in today's world. So thank you for providing that space. I look forward to seeing you all in Baku.